Welcome back, everybody, to the Busted Lip Podcast. My name is Mark Pavelich, the 8-time world WBC, WBA smartass, Jelena Mrdjenovich, and of course, our special guest today, everybody. Broadcasting royalty, everybody. Bow down quickly. The one and only Gabriel Morency on the show today.
Hey, good to be here with you guys. How you doing?
Fantastic. Hey, listen, we saw you recently. Yeah,
I'm having a phenomenal day because I was just so right, and I love nothing more than being right.
She's the person in this world that when they're right, they're going to tell you they're right all the time. When you get older like us, Gabe, we kind of just know we're right, and we just move on, you know?
My money's on her, though, between the two of you.
Yeah, of course.
She's right more.
Yeah.
So,
exactly. Go
so
ahead,
you're tuning in from Vancouver, correct?
Yeah, that's right. I'm in Vancouver right now. We've been here for about 5-6 years now, I guess. I'm bad with time, but I sort of know because I came here during the pandemic. So when was the pandemic? Like 2020?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 2020 type of deal.
You're kind of all over the map with timing anyway, because you cover everything and anything. And so your time clock isn't really Pacific time. It's kind of like all over time, right?
Yeah, I tell you what, though, the Olympics have been a challenge figuring out different Italian time zone, East Coast, Pacific, and you never really get used to it. Like, I always just sort of like, oh yeah, the rest of the world's 3 hours ahead, right? I'm always like, oh yeah, the rest of the world's 3 hours ahead. And then I sort of go from there. But for being a sports fan, I find that the Pacific time zone really is the best. It takes a little while to get used to having the really early morning football and stuff like that. But, you know, Monday Night Football on the East Coast, man, starting late and these late games and stuff. I mean, you're on the West Coast, everything's over by like 9-10 o'clock.
Is Vancouver not arguably I'm going to say this, you can say whatever you want, the shittiest sports town in all of Canada?
No, you know what? It's gotten a lot better.
But you're saying it's getting better. But what I'm saying is like they couldn't make a basketball team work. They couldn't make, certain things work there. And it just seems like, maybe the hockey thing goes okay there, but the rest of it, not so much.
Well, the basketball team wasn't their fault. Like the people of Vancouver deserve better. The team was terrible. They still supported them.
Grizzlies.
Yeah, but Grizzlies, the NBA, it wasn't just a Vancouver thing. The NBA, for whatever reason, David Stern, the commissioner at the time,
I remember,
did not like the Pacific Northwest. Like they eliminated Vancouver and they eliminated the Seattle Supersonics team that was like an iconic franchise, right? That had won championships.
That's right.
Before. So they sort of like wiped out. But listen, Vancouver's more of a, like put it this way, like sports stores that sell sporting equipment does better than sports gear and jerseys.
Oh, okay.
Like people here actually are active. Out mountain biking, they're active. Climbing, they're in the ocean, they're doing it's a very active sports scene. But from a spectator sports scene, I mean, it's not Boston or New York, right? As far as sports passion is concerned. But it has gotten a lot better over the last couple of years, to be honest. The BC Lions do very well. They got 27,000 people a game for the CFL. That's strong attendance.
It is.
The Whitecaps are very popular as well now.
They are very popular. Yes.
Because they're good,
and
right?
The Canucks
they are
do.
good.
The Canucks,
if you're good, people will go.
The Canucks have their loyal following too.
The Canucks, they do, but they've been around forever and they've never won a cup, so it adds up the pain.
That's true, but my mom is a Edmontonian, right? Loyal Oilers fan, but then she's always texting me about the Canucks. And I was like, I couldn't give a fuck about the Canucks, Mom. I'm from Edmonton. Stop texting me this crap. So she's become a Canucks fan. And I was like, please stop. I don't even want this.
Yeah.
I don't want this on my algorithm.
My mother was a diehard Montreal Canadian fan, but she lived in Vancouver for so many years, and she got really, really, really into the Canucks. I've gotten into the Canucks, but I caught on that, you know what, it's going to lead to disappointment and failure. But honestly, they're so bad right now. They're the worst team in the league, which is a good thing.
Being a Maple Leafs fan.
Well, if you're stuck in the middle all the time.
But it's true, Jay. You're right.
No, if you're stuck in the middle all the time, you'll never get better, right? And Canadian teams can't really tank because they need to sell tickets, and every Canadian team gets mad unless the team is good. So now Vancouver are just actually so bad that it's actually good. I mean, you look at the Edmonton Oilers, that's what it took. I mean,
Yeah.
the
We
Oilers
had to get draft picks 2 years in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what's coming this year?
Same thing now with Celebrini and Will Smith and these guys.
We all missed something yesterday. We missed something yesterday, which is going to put the Oilers over the top this year.
We didn't miss it.
No, me and you didn't miss it.
Unless Grant Fuhr's coming back.
No. Forget it. Hey, listen. You know what? Tkachuk did us a favor yesterday. He's going to wake the beast. He woke the beast. He talked shit to Leon Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl is one of those players you just don't talk shit to. He told him, "You're going to be a bridesmaid, never a bride." You know, he was chirping him and chirping him. This is a different guy. You don't chirp. We need Draisaitl to get mean. And this is the kind of comment that'll stick. And don't be surprised when they're there again at the end this year. Don't be surprised.
The Tkachuk brothers are probably the biggest sort of tool douchebags in the NHL.
Yeah.
But they're the kind of tool douchebags that you want on your team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
They are the type of guys you want on your team. Like,
100%.
you hate them if they're on the other team, but it's old school Claude Lemieux style, right? I saw that too. He's talking. He's like, "Oh, you know what? You cost the Oilers. You're costing Team Germany." It's like, dude, what do you want? You're overwhelming Germany, and they're still talking smack to them. But that's who they are, and you got to respect them for it. Like, you know what I mean?
you do. It's like having Marchand. It's like if Marchand came to the
exactly he's the same type of guy.
Yeah, if you have Marchand, you go buy his jersey the next day if he's playing for your team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's awoke in the beast. I think like they're all pretty fired up. We're talking Oilers right now, but you know, it is what it is. Tkachuk isn't wrong. We've always been the bridesmaid. We're the first losers. We're the runners up right now every time.
And finally, Canada got some gold though in the games. It was getting a little bit.
It's going on too long.
Yeah, and now they just won another one actually in women's big air skiing. So they're up to 2 gold medals now.
Good.
2, so that's what we were. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a big difference between 0 and 2. You know what I mean? It's like there is.
Like, especially because we're supposed to be a winter place. We're supposed to be like this is supposed to be our jam.
Ironically enough, we're better at the summer games now.
Isn't that crazy?
That's weird.
I think it's because of the lack of funding.
Yes.
In that. Honestly, like a lot of the Canadian athletes, like in gold in the summer, like we have the women's and the men's hammer throw world champions, gold medals.
That's right.
Like,
that's right.
But it's always but they go to school at an NCAA school.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're all for the most part getting this sort of different training. The winter program, there's no funding for it.
No.
Like I was just posting about guys. The Canadian bobsled team is using Germany's bobsleds that they used in 2018.
Wow. So it's funny you bring this up because my little brother has actually went through the RBC training program, all that stuff. And so he was a rugby kid who just got picked up to do bobsled, in the program.
Yeah.
And my family has been ultra supportive of me throughout my career and therefore now has to be supportive of my siblings. So but he was telling me how like they have to take off for a couple weeks every month or a week every month to go and do this, but it's all self-funded. So like
$70,000 it cost each bobsledder. They paid themselves.
Wow.
Isn't it
the Germans felt bad for them and like sold them their thing is though, I got to believe in bobsled, the technology has changed since 2018.
100%.
It's like getting an F1
100%.
driver and saying, listen, here's a car from 2018. Go beat Max Verstappen in a 2026 car.
Yeah.
I think
so my little brother was
better sled than us.
Yeah.
Well, and he was telling me, he's like, if they fuck up the bobsled when they're training, they are like on the hook to try and repair it on their own.
Yeah.
I was like, are you kidding me? Like, so he's telling me all this stuff, and I was like, no wonder we suck.
If you're worried about, like, oh, yeah, don't break it. Yeah,
right?
You're always worried.
Sense.
Like, you're not going to be in a full throttle mindset.
No.
Yeah, he's like, we got to learn how to fix these things on the hill on their own. And I was
There's got to be a solution to that. There's got to be. What's the solution?
Well, we need sponsors. We need
more
people
sponsors,
to get behind our teams.
I think, and, I almost feel guilty, and I guess I shouldn't, but people need to donate. Like, we can't sit at home and say, oh, you know what, we're not winning enough, or we're not doing this, and then don't donate to anything. And there are websites and stuff like, hell, man, even $100, $20, if you're broke, $20, $10, and it will all add up and say, you know what I mean? All right, we're going to support this bobsled team. We're going to support the women's, whatever, this team, the luge team. And
So I sat
a
on
little bit more public support, I think, would help. But they need to do a better job soliciting. Have a commercial on
100%.
TV saying, hey, you know what?
Yep.
Donate at this website
Yep.
to the athletes, and you can pick the sport that you want to donate to.
I was just going to say, you know what the tough part is they only do the advertising and the promotion and trying to like fundraise like the year before or 2 years before the Olympics.
Yeah, it's too late then. Yeah.
It's already too late. So I sat on a board for 2 go rounds called Gold Medal Plates. And so it's a massive event where they're selling off trips, they're doing all this fundraising, they're doing all this that all goes to the Olympians. But then it was never determined. I don't know how much would actually go to the athletes, but we raised at this Gold Medal Plates event, which went across Canada.
In Edmonton, though.
But it was in Edmonton, but it's been in Edmonton is big because we've had a lot of Olympians from our city, but they go Toronto, Montreal, Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver. That was our big. So I sat on the board for this Edmonton committee. And again, we would only fundraise 2 years or the year prior to the Olympics. And I'm like, well, where do these athletes get their money in the meantime? Because it takes them 4 years to get selected.
You need the money to train before the games.
Yeah.
Like, who cares about the games? Like, what about the rest of it? And do they have to support? How do they support themselves and all of this stuff?
It's the mindset, though, right, as well. Like, I remember when I was younger, they used to have the commercials. It was like personal best, and it was like a big deal. Like, we didn't win, but you did your personal best. And if you remember, remember they got into own the podium type stuff. It was no, enough of second place. We want to fucking win.
Exactly.
I don't want a participation medal.
Yeah,
exactly.
No. Not at
We're
this level.
sort of back to this. Well, you did well, and you know what? Okay, that's okay. You finished in 6th. It's like either we want to win or we don't. Let's just sort of draw a line in the sand and say we're competing or we're not competing.
So
and the thing is, too, thinking about this, like the men's hockey team, like they're staying in these hotels and all this.
Yeah.
Like the only team that anybody ever really cares about are a bunch of millionaires that aren't real Olympians. Yeah. Like that's the problem.
They don't suffer like the Olympians.
And I just saw yesterday on Instagram, McDavid's wife showing the tour of her Airbnb. And I don't think she realized how stupid that was to do something of that level, because this wasn't an Airbnb. This was probably Mick Jagger's house in Milan, Italy, like somewhere. Villa. Yeah, like it was.
Saying she's not struggling out there. No.
Yeah, it's like in the villa, and you got to think to yourself. I understand you can afford it, right? But why flex at the Olympics when you're showing this villa of Mick Jagger's that you've rented for the week in Italy, and literally I thought to myself, like I have no problem with anybody doing whatever they're doing, but I do have a problem with that. You know what I mean? I just go, I get it. These athletes are struggling. They're doing this. And you're showing this villa that probably cost, $40,000, $50,000 for the week to use. Makes no sense. This is the Olympics. Listen, we're interviewing a kid that's coming up. He does the skull, and he's the number one kid. He's coming up next week or whatever. And he literally he's like, oh, we can do this day. And I'm asking him, why this day? Aren't you going to be at the closing ceremonies? He goes, no, I'm coming home before that. And I was too sad to ask him, why are you coming home before the closing ceremonies? Do you know what I'm trying to tell you?
You can't afford it. It's a lot of
exactly
money.
But what I'm trying to tell you is the metrics of looking at the picture of McDavid's wife showing everybody, look at my, I'm staying with Mick Jagger for a week here while you guys are all slumming. Yeah. I don't know. It's not in good taste. That's all I'm saying. I have no problem with her.
I'll give credit to the U.S. We were talking about Kachucks.
Yeah.
And they could be jerks and stuff, but I respect them in that they actually are staying in the village. The U.S. players are staying in the village.
They are.
That's like nuts. What he said. He goes, we could stay in a hotel, but he goes, I like meeting these athletes. He goes, It's always been my dream to be in the Olympics, not in a hotel.
Yeah.
He said, it's crazy. I want to meet these people. And he talked about meeting the figure skaters and said, I've gone to sports I didn't even know existed before and had the time of my life.
It's hard to hate them, though. It's hard to hate those guys now when you say that story.
But Team Canada guys are just robots, right? Nate McKinnon and Crosby are at the hotel. They could give two shits about meeting some, they don't
totally.
I think they stayed. Didn't they stay 1 day, 1 or 2 days in the village?
And you know what? To their credit, they
went to a bunch of sports.
They went to a couple of events, and
But
it was almost like they were forced to do it.
Yeah, the PR guy's like, get on the subway, get on the subway.
Because there was a flash, they were going to stay in a hotel. So they said, all right, we'll go to the village. We'll make a public appearance. We'll take our selfies with the other athletes.
Everybody else,
days, and then we'll get the hell out. I actually think they handle it well. But at the same point in time, you know, credit to the Americans for at least embracing the Olympic
I totally agree.
experience, you know?
Yeah.
I'm on the fence about that one because they have a job to do. They've trained. I mean, they're all in the NHL, every single one of those guys, right?
And they're not really Olympians, too. That's another thing, too.
Yeah, they're not.
So, like, they're professional athletes, but at the same time, they're representing their country. For a lot of people, this is a really big deal, I think, for most athletes. And their job is to own the podium, to get gold, right?
Yeah.
So at the same time, like, I've gone away, I was saying, like, everywhere for fights. I've been to Japan, Argentina, Panama. I don't ever get to see where I go because I'm working. Like, I'm there to work. I'm not there to go around and sightsee and tour and all those things. Like, people ask me questions when I went to Japan. Oh, did you go watch a sumo thing? Did you go here? Did you go there? I'm like, no, man. I was on
to the arena.
But this is, Jay, you're a professional athlete. That's different. So that's what makes it different.
At the same time, all of these NHL guys are pro athletes.
But they're at the Olympics. And that's the caveat that doesn't make sense. Listen, the Americans decided, listen, I'm giving the Kachucks all the respect in the world now for, listen, because if they're going to do what they're going to do and they're going to go to the Olympic Village and they're going to hang out with the snowboarders and the biathlon people and all the rest of the people, you know, it's special. That's the moment. I heard some of them talking. That's interesting you brought it up, Gabe, because I heard some of them talking going, oh, you know, it was great. I met this guy. And this is a guy that just won a silver medal for the American team. And he's bragging about meeting these great athletes, and it's like that's what it's about to be at the Olympics.
It's about the experience, for sure. But at the same time, this is the difference. The NHL guys are pro athletes. They aren't the amateur athletes. So they have their pro hat on. They're there to do their job, you know. But there is a big difference. You're right. The U.S. team, to embrace that experience,
that they do it makes it, when the U.S. team goes and does that, that just trumps the what Canada now, because your theory's correct.
Well, we better smash them then.
You know what, though? There is a difference.
Yeah.
With all due respect to the American players, they can walk around as unknowns.
Oh, I agree.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, people.
Most can.
Yeah, but like Sidney Crosby, Nate McKinnon, Connor McDavid, they really would get ambushed by like even other Canadian athletes.
Yeah.
Hey, Connor, can I get a selfie with you for my family? You know what I mean? It would just sort of be this constant. And quite frankly, I think a lot of the guys on Team Canada are kind of antisocial, awkward dudes.
Oh, they are. They're
like
very
all their best
introverted.
players, right? Like
Crosby's
gotten better, where he's got a charisma a little bit now, his smile. But Nate McKinnon doesn't even like talking to his teammates, let alone to other people.
No.
Right? They're all single-minded alpha dogs. Just win.
Nate is a different cat. He's like, he's like, I'm not here to sightsee, man. I just came here for a gold medal. Go bounce. You know what I mean?
Like up the village. No.
It's like,
no.
Yeah, no.
He said no.
You know.
And
McDavid is very introverted
that
as
came
well.
across wrong. He goes, no, I'm going to soak a little bit up. But he said, for me, having fun is winning the gold medal. That's what he said.
That's right. Well, Gabe, to get off the Olympic kick. You know, when we were doing research on you, when you were a kid and you dropped out of school and you joined the band and you did all that kind of stuff, a lot of people want to know about that type of, like, how you came up from, basically, being in high school and going, okay, this is not for me anymore. I'm going on the road. And I think a lot of people haven't heard the in-depth story of that.
You know, it was a hell of a ride. Like I said, I was in a punk rock band when I was a teenager. I played hockey as well.
Wow.
But I didn't have the work ethic. Like, I didn't have the desire. I was sort of like, I enjoyed the games. I didn't enjoy the work that went into the games. And if I did, things could have been different if I really would have taken it more seriously. I took it seriously, but there was different levels to it.
Sure.
Right? You know what I mean? There's different levels to it. And there was a different era then in the 80s. So it wasn't really you have to train like you did now even, right?
Very different. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just sort of like, I liked it, but I didn't have that full... like live and
you were in
die.
Montreal, right? You were in Montreal.
Yeah,
right?
I was in Montreal. Yeah.
So that was really a hockey mecca growing up in the 80s.
Great. I mean, Martin Brodeur. I was on a good baseball team too. I was actually on the same team as Russell Martin, who went on to be a big time.
Okay.
Same team. I didn't play with him, but I was a catcher on the same team, and then he was a couple of years after me. So like I played in pretty elite sort of youth leagues and stuff like that. And I could have played NCAA hockey, but my grades sucked. But I was more into music and stuff. So I was in a punk rock band. And I was always getting in trouble in school and getting kicked out of school and everything. And we got offered like a bunch of tour dates with DRI.
Okay.
Who were very big at the time in the mid 80s. And I just said, screw it.
That's before Homicide, though, right? The band Homicide?
Yeah, it was called Corrupted Youth. Yeah.
Corrupted Youth, yeah.
Yeah, it was a real lesson, man. We had no money. We didn't have a van or anything like that. We literally took like Voyager buses and Greyhound buses.
Everywhere.
Like, we'd stick our ramps in and we'd take a bus. We'd sleep in parks. Wow. Like if it was the summertime, we'd sleep outside. If it was the wintertime, we'd just find someone's house to sleep out after the shows. Like it was really sort of old school punk rock type of stuff.
Sure.
And it was a lot of fun. Like, you know, it was a big learning experience, like playing in front of big crowds. And a lot of times we sucked too. Like sometimes we were good, but then we sort of got bigger fast and we were in like too big of stages for the age
for what
we were at.
Yeah.
So it was like a good learning experience sucking too, right? Like, so like I got toughened up in the music business pretty young. And then we moved to Hollywood to take it to the next level. Like, so, you know, more like hard rock, heavy metal type of stuff.
Was that the Poison era? Was that era?
Yeah, it was Guns N' Roses, Poison, Motley Crue, all that. But Guns N' Roses were just coming out. So it was like 1989, 88, 89 era.
Sunset Strip.
Yeah, so the Sunset Strip heyday of like heavy metal.
So you moved out there when you were how old?
I was 17.
Wow. And you're still playing punk rock, though.
Did you move by yourself or with your band?
Yeah, 17 into 18. Like I said, I went to a school there, a music school in Hollywood.
Okay. Yeah.
So I sort of started to get away from more of the punk rock and more into like, basically I knew there was no money in punk rock. Like, you know, even as a teenager, I was like, yeah, you know, all this heavy metal stuff out there, this is the way to go.
Yeah.
And, you know, I also always wanted to go sort of live and be part of that Sunset Strip stuff. So it was epic. I had a great time. It was a couple of years. I got into trouble there, chaos and ensued and like all this, like you name it, I did it out there.
Was it that was the hardcore party, like at that era, exactly that era. I know that area very well. And literally at the time
you were one big party, 20. Yeah, it was like day was a Saturday night.
Yeah, it was Saturday. Monday was Saturday. Tuesday was Saturday. This is before the Velvet Room. This is before all that shit. This is like way
there'd be pool parties in these dumpy apartment buildings, but everyone would just party, and you sort of wake up like poolside the next day. You're like, where the hell am I? And like, oh yeah, right. Yeah. And like, but it was everyone was buildings. Everyone would have their doors open. It was really cool. Like Marty Friedman, the guitarist of Megadeth, lived like 2 or 3 buildings over from me.
Wow.
And he was like the badass on the street. And like you couldn't walk 2 feet without stumbling into a guitarist that could shred there, right?
Wow.
Like everyone could play.
Yeah.
But everyone was like, yeah, bro, there's this one dude though at the end of the block here. Marty, this guy Marty. And
he's the shit.
Yeah, and he used to have a party and he played with Jason Becker, who ended up playing. He ended up getting sick, unfortunately, and paralyzed, but he played with David Lee Roth and like just top tier sort of metal shred guys. And it was super cool. Like every Friday and Saturday, they would leave their door open. And it would just be a come one, come all. Bring your guitar, bring booze, bring weed, whatever, dude. Like it would just sort of be a party.
Just roll in.
Yeah, it would just, they'd shred and everyone would party up. It was like, made everybody a better guitarist. It was very like cool. Like it wasn't like an egotistical, like, oh.
No, I don't think so.
You know, I'm better than you, or no, I don't know you. Like people were very supportive. Hey, I'll show you how do you play that? They were like, oh, just do this, dude. Like people were very, very supportive and cool. It was a great times. Looking
did
back
most of
on
them live on the Sunset Strip? Did most of them live on the sides?
Yeah, you know what? A lot of people lived in Hollywood. So the Sunset Strip is Hollywood, but the Hollywood Boulevard area
it's different.
Where, like, sort of like the Sunset Strip is a little bit more upscale.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like people with money, bands with money lived on the Sunset
Strip.
Right. Like Motley Crue would have a condo or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
Like Motorhead Lemmy lived in a nice apartment right by the Whiskey and the Roxy, etc. But
the
like
Roxbury,
the struggling ones lived in like, you know, cockroach rat infested places off of Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I was for like $1,200 a month or whatever the hell it was
at that time.
Yeah, that was lowbrow stuff. Yeah. It was but it was fun. But then eventually, you know what, I got eaten up like everyone else. I got eaten up and spitting out of Hollywood eventually. And I moved back to Montreal, and that's when we started Homicide, the speed metal band, and did that for a couple of years before I got into the broadcast industry.
That's a relief, though, isn't it? Like most people, when they get kicked out of Hollywood, or they kind of fizzle out of Hollywood, or they dissolve from Hollywood, isn't it more like they got to go somewhere else? You get to come back to Canada, which is almost more like
I wasn't going back to Topeka, Kansas or something. Like,
Exactly.
oh, the dream is dead. It was like,
Yeah,
no,
it's
I'm going to
totally
Montreal and I'm going to start a
Like,
band
I'm
in
going
Montreal.
home.
Yeah, you got
Like,
family.
that was the play.
Yeah.
And plus, Montreal is a great metal city, too.
Okay.
Like, it really is. Like, it still is one of the top heavy metal cities.
Sure.
Like, as far as, like, local bars and clubs, there's literally a heavy metal bands playing all the time. Like, that.
Yeah.
Like, local, big, in between. There's a thriving metal market there. So it's a good spot. And then, like I said, we did a record. You know, we did a couple of tours. We did a couple of records, actually. We even did a reunion show over this past summer.
You're kidding.
It was okay.
That's
it was
cool.
pretty good.
Wow.
You know, it wasn't
So you
great.
can still shred on. You can.
So
still,
what do you play,
like,
Gabe?
Yeah.
What's your instrument?
Guitar.
Guitar. Lead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in fact, like I've done 2 solo projects in the last year.
You really?
Oh, cool.
Yeah. They're on YouTube. So if you look up Gabriel Morency on
listen,
YouTube, like,
can we go in depth a little bit, please, and start writing shit down here? Like, you know how many people probably have no clue that you're this level still of a guitar player.
oh, I've been promoting it. It surprises people too.
Yes.
Right? They're like,
I
oh
love
boy, I didn't
that.
know you did that.
Me
Or
too.
this or that, right? But like, dude, like having old stuff on YouTube or whatever is one thing, but
Yeah, having new
we still
stuff.
play. Like
Yeah.
we play like
That's
actively.
super
Like
cool.
Super cool.
Yeah, I plan on doing some stuff again in the future. I mean, there's almost so much time in a day,
Yeah.
but I still have the passion for music. It sort of comes and goes. Like there's been years where I didn't play much, and then it's sort of like, what am I doing? If you're not inspired, it's not whatever. So like I felt the inspiration as of late. I bought new guitars and I got really into it again.
Yeah.
So what's your YouTube page where they can see your solo stuff?
You just punch in Gabriel Morency. Paradox is one of the songs.
Paradox, okay.
And the other one, Gabriel Morency, Evolution.
Evolution, cool.
You know what's funny?
Paradox and Evolution.
Yeah, and they're instrumental. So sort of, there's no singing; it's guitar rock, instrumental. So guitar solos, yeah.
So all the
you know
rips.
what's funny? I saw you on social media for I think it's probably the first time ever with your wife.
Oh yeah. I posted a picture. Yeah. She posted a ton of pictures on.
I think it's
her
fantastic.
Facebook.
No. Wait a second here. No. I took it different. I thought it was fantastic because you're an anomaly. You always have been. You're kind of like a secret guy. People are like kind of get uncomfortable because you know the truth and they get uncomfortable around. You know what I mean? Like, am I right? And then all of a sudden I
like to think I know the truth.
Yeah, correct. And you kind of are the truth teller, regardless of the early years in your sports career where people have a hard time understanding like your mentality. But when I saw you with your wife, I looked at you totally different. It was like why haven't you ever shown this before?
Well, I only got married this summer, just for number one.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? I used to be more private about things.
Yeah.
Also, there's a lot of like trolls and stuff like that. So I figured, you know what? Exactly. If people want to hate on me, fine. But I don't want, you know what I mean? I want to bring my people that I care about into this type of stuff. But
I agree.
I have posted pictures. And
That's
to
fantastic.
be honest, I really don't have too many evil. There's a few dumbasses out there.
Of course.
There's people that have it a lot worse than I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
always say it's the keyboard cowboys that are always the worst, but
they're still out there, but you know what? I literally ignore them.
Yeah.
Point blank. Like, you know what I mean? Before in the old days, I'd go back and forth a little bit. Oh, you know, well, you're a loser, whatever. And then what's the saying? Never argue with a fool in a town square. The public might not know who the fool is.
That's right.
Right. So I'm like, you know what? I literally, and I'm really good. Like, I had someone say something pretty jerkish to me the other day, and like it didn't even hit me for a millisecond. Like I saw it and I read it and I moved on. I thought about 10 minutes later, I was like, damn, you're good, bro. Like you legit don't care.
Yeah. I think we all got to that. I think
that is impressive.
We all got to that level though, because when in the MFC days, I used to read everything, and it was like it was insane, the people, the way they'd talk. And I used to go back and forth. And then one day my wife said the same thing. She's like, listen,
it's too draining of energy. Bro.
It was draining of energy to the highest degree. And then literally
negative energy too.
It is. And I finally got to the point where I was like, if someone says something bad to me now, it's immediately blocked. I just block you and I don't want to hear from you. And you're like, it doesn't phase, like you said, but it took this long to get to this place to finally go, okay, yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah,
It's a comfortable place to be. Even in
it's
life.
fantastic.
Forget about internet trolls, right? But if you just don't really care about what other people think in the world, you'll be a much happier person.
Yeah.
I was lucky because I lost my 10th professional fight. So I would have been 19, maybe 20-ish. I had let everybody, all of the professional critiquers who don't know shit, I let them all get in my head, and like I ended up just losing to myself essentially because I rematched this girl I think 4 or 5 months later and I beat the fuck out of her. But
the fight game is the critical blocking everybody else out, right?
Yes.
So but when I lost, I went and I was reading all of what everybody had to say, and it was a split decision loss. I did lose, I admit it. And I was reading everybody's things, and they're like, oh, Jelena's just a princess who her parents bought her everything. I was like, hey, my dad, if anybody knew, my dad doesn't support shit. Like, and he makes me work a full-time job and train and do all these things. Like, I got to where I'm at because I'm a hustler. Like, but it was at that point where it was like, I heard friends of friends saying shit about me. And I was like, hey, man, like, I'm right behind you. Like, and they're like, oh, I didn't mean that. And so I was fortunate that I was about 20 years old where that give a fuck attitude came in. Like, I don't really care. Like, everybody
sort of noticed too that anyone, if you're in the public a bit, you really, if you don't change, people around you do. Like, you know what I mean? They either expect more from you or different,
they want something, or
just, I notice like people act differently. The more famous, people get, the people around them act more differently than the actual people.
No, it's true. 100%.
Not everybody. Yeah. Some people become whatever jerks, or you know what I mean, and over the top. But I've been around a lot of pro athletes like that, and I've heard that too. Like mega baseball players I've been around, man, and they tell me, man, they're like, dude, you have no idea the problems that I have. Like,
I couldn't even imagine.
He's like, dude, I got an aunt that I met twice that calls me every month, like with some issue and guilt trips, and like he's like,
what's that direct deposit?
He rolled off. He goes, it's to the point now. He goes, once a year I have like a people's court. He goes, I set up a table once a year, and he goes, I have like 50 family members that come up and hit me up for money.
Wow. He decides that he's going to give it to
start a plumbing business. I want to do this. And it's like, well, hustle yourself. Yeah, but you're in the NFL.
Figure it out.
Yeah. Like, who's going to pay for me when I'm not in the NFL?
Correct.
Like a lot of these guys, like they realize, like the family, everybody are parasites. It's like, dude, just because your cousin got famous doesn't mean he's going to pay for your life, bro.
Yeah. It doesn't make you famous.
Whacked, man. Yeah. And then if you don't, you're an asshole. He's big time. He's a jerk. He doesn't take my calls. Yeah. I've seen it, man. I'm telling you.
All the keyboard cowboys and the associates and the hanger-oners, like I had a cousin or something that I've never even heard of. I don't know how he's cousin. Reached out to me to get to my dad. And I was like, bro, my dad doesn't even support me. What makes you think he's going to support you who we don't even know? Where'd you come from? Like,
I like people to reach out to try to help us.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, hey, man.
Yeah.
What are you going to do for me?
Instead,
I love that.
Instead of the other way around. But hey, that's the way it is. But listen, the internet is pretty much at an all-time low now as far as social discourse is concerned.
Yeah,
and it's almost so low, like I'm above it. Like there's people, I see people going at it, and I just ignore it. Yeah. Like I'm not going to get sucked in. I don't care about, like, I really have better things to do. I spend too much time online as it is.
Where do you take?
But at least I'm doing it in a positive way. Like,
where do you take sports
opinions on things? I'm exchanging thoughts. I'll answer fans' questions, etc. But I'm not going to get into, like, I really don't care.
The pissing.
Where do you
I don't care what your beef is. I don't I really there's not enough time in the day for me to care.
Gabe, where do you take sports rage now? Where does it go to?
Well, it's tough. We're going in on our 25th anniversary now.
Yeah, sure.
Right. So at some point,
that's amazing.
That's huge.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's been 24 years. We're going on 25 years now. There's always sort of ups and downs, you know what I mean, over the 25 years and where we are, on what network I'm on and where we're at. But we're in a pretty good spot now, right? I mean, I never thought we'd make it. Like, I never thought about making it 25 years.
No.
Like it sort of started off as, I hope I don't get fired after the first show. Okay, let's see if we can make it a year.
Yeah.
And I remember when we made it 5 years, I was like, wow, I can't believe I've been doing this 5 years. And here we are now going into year 25. So that's the theme. And we're going to write a book to sort of coincide with the 25th anniversary. Stories from different networks we were at, behind the scenes. Hey, what happened at the Score? Stuff like that. Our time in Hollywood, our time in the music business, crazy gambling stories.
I love that.
It's not just so much it's not really like a vanity project. It's more so like before I forget everything.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And also like, so when I'm gone, whatever. Somebody, hey, listen, you want to get entertained, you can kick back and hey, this is the story. And we just leave it out there. But I look forward to doing this. I've kicked the tires on it for a while. I've written a bunch of chapters before, restarted, and sort of gone through all right, all right, that's a waste of time. I got to cut it down.
Are you going to write this yourself, or are you going to use a ghostwriter?
Yeah, that was the whole thing, too, that I figured if I was going to do it, I wanted to get the credit for doing it.
100%.
Right? But I'm not going to lie, now, with all this AI stuff and everything, long story short, I'm just going to basically vocalize it, and then it'll get edited after. Right. Sure. So I'm just going to they have these programs now. Right. Because I got to be honest with you, it'll take me forever for writing it. Plus my grammar sucks. So like, it's going to be edited after. But I'm not going to get a ghostwriter, though. I want to do it myself.
Sure. No, I love that. I love that. I want a copy of the book. So you send me the link.
Definitely. I look forward to the book tour. I've done a lot of things. I'll do the book tour.
Okay, but
it'll be so fun.
If you put together the perfect band tomorrow and you're the lead guitarist in the band, who's playing with you?
Oh, that's a tough question. I tell you what, normally like dream bands don't work.
No. I'm not asking.
I
ain't asking for a dream band. I'm asking you your perfect band with yourself in it. Of course,
I like to play with. I'd like to jam with Joe Satriani.
Okay.
Who's a great guitarist. Kirk Hammett of Metallica.
Yeah.
I just sort of think of those two, and those two are buddies actually. So I'm just sort of thinking,
who plays the drums?
Those two would be pretty cool. The drummer, well, that's kind of. Again, who would play the drums? I don't really have like a go-to modern guy type of thing.
No, they could be dead or alive.
You know what? The modern drummer of Megadeth is a badass. Okay, actually. I like to play with him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really good. He's
that's
really
your
fun.
band.
Yeah, you know what? You kind of threw it at me here, but yeah,
of course. What do you think we're doing here? What are we doing here? Yeah,
into right now, I'd say those guys. Yeah.
Okay,
Joe Satriani, Kirk Hammett, and the Nick Mendoza of I think it's his name. I think it's Nick. Yeah, of Megadeth. He's probably one of the top metal drummers out there now.
Yeah. All right.
I'm into everything though. I really am. I listen to all kinds of music, but I prefer to play heavy metal and hard rock type thing.
To this day,
there was no country artist in there, so I was totally lost.
No, I don't mind Johnny Cash and stuff, but there's not a lot of.
Everybody loves Johnny Cash.
No,
I don't care who you are. Everybody loves Johnny Cash just to love Johnny Cash.
Can't go wrong with Johnny Cash.
Yeah, no, you just love Johnny Cash to love Johnny Cash. You know what I mean?
It's great.
Yeah, he's special.
Good story.
I post my stuff online though. Our music, like I said, it's good. If you're into like instrumental guitar rock, it's pretty good stuff that we did. I'm proud of it.
Well,
I love that. Okay, well, we're
later today for sure. That's going to be a thing, and we want everybody to watch.
I'll send you guys the links after too.
Yeah,
so you
please
can see
do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, please do, because we'd like to share that even on the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
we'll put it inside the bio, just so that people can go see it and like actually experience what this is.
I love the story. Can you just go? We spoke before and like off another time. Can you tell the story about how you got into like your first radio show? Because I loved that, and I loved it was like a hustler's mentality. And if you could tell the story, like your first show, like
through the
first
years, like even all the years that I was in a band, I was in Hollywood and all that, I was still betting on sports.
Wow.
So I was betting on sport. I've been betting on sports since I was like 11 years old, 12 years old type thing. So even through all those years, like I would call them in, I'd call in on the payphone, call the bets in. I'd always find like
you had a bookie at 11.
Well, yeah. Well, a bookie was a kid in my school, but as I got older,
I love that.
You graduated. You graduated.
So, I used to find bars on the road and watch the games and stuff like that. But when I started settling back into Montreal, I was listening to talk radio and watching stuff as a sport fan still, and I kind of realized that I knew more than most of the people did. right? I'd be like, man, this guy's talking, but he really doesn't know what he's talking about.
Sure.
Right. And I used to go to games, and people would just tell me all the time, you should have a talk show. Like, I'd be at the game and I'd be like, man, they got to do this. They should be doing this. And I have all these people all the time, man, you're entertaining, bro. You were funner than the game sitting next to you. You should have a talk show and stuff. And finally, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should do a talk show. And I figured, listen, I was already in a band and stuff, so I didn't have that fear thing of like,
no stage fright.
No, so I was more so, all right, but how do I go about this?
Sure.
I can't just walk into a radio station and tell them I want to do a talk show. Right?
Exactly.
So how do I go about this? So I saw an ad in the back of the newspaper, basically. And it was like called the Montreal Radio and TV School. It was like a 6-month crash course. It was like a former big reporter of Montreal that had his own school. Really, it was a great place. And a lot of people went there. The whole thing was you go there and you get an internship at a radio station or something after that.
Sure.
But I was 30 years old at that point, and I was like, I want to become an intern. Like, I'm not, this really isn't my thing. So I sort of just learned the formatics of, all right, if you're doing a radio show, how do you do it? You got to open it. You got to put music. You got to understand this. Like, how are you going to talk? Like, you got to understand, it's called the formatics of it, right?
Yeah.
The fundamentals. Like being a boxer, you got to start somewhere, footwork, right? You sort of work your way up to the bag.
Good job.
So sort of like learn, all right, this is how you do a radio show and put together your own radio show. And everybody after sort of got internships and whatnot, or, got jobs behind the scenes in the industry. But that's not what I was looking for. I didn't want to just be at work at a radio station.
No, you wanted to be a front man.
I wanted my own show.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually had to wait. I don't know, it was like 4 or 5, 6 months. And I was starting to actually think, man, I wonder if this was all for nothing.
Too long.
I'm not going to get anything. But there was a radio station in Montreal that sold airtime. All right. Like basically they were selling air. It was like a community radio station. They sold airtime, except you still have to be good enough to get on. Because they were a big host on the station that got fired from another station, started their own thing or whatnot. So I had to wait. I had to, present, the demos and all that. And it took about 6 months, but I got a call once and they said, listen, we got a spot for you if you want it. Once a week, Sunday night at midnight.
Wow.
Perfect airtime.
Wow.
Sunday night at midnight. It's right on the Wayne's Road, right? Sunday night at midnight.
How much for that airtime? Do you remember?
Off the top of my head. It was pretty expensive. It was like,
even back then?
$600 for the hour.
Wow. For an hour. Okay.
Yeah, 500.
12 midnight.
Yeah, it was pretty pricey in that ballpark. So, and it was a community radio station, and you weren't even allowed speaking English before midnight. So the thing is, the radio station did very well, though. So they had Italian talk shows on, and it made a lot of money through local sponsors, like the Italian market, the Chinese market. Yep. Chinese had a show, so wow. So every ethnic, there's a lot of Chinese people in Montreal, a lot of this people in Montreal. So the station actually
Montreal's
had pretty big ratings.
Because they're multicultural.
But so
it is multicultural.
Big.
Yeah, exactly. Multicultural is big market. So every night at midnight, though, there'd be an English show that would come on. And it would be a dating show or a show about cooking. It was always some stupid random type, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I replaced a dating show. It was a live radio dating show that got canned. I replaced the dating show on Sunday night. And first show, man, my phone starts lighting up. And speaking of getting under the skin, somebody called and said I sucked and stuff. And
on air.
Yeah, on air. And I was getting a lot of prank callers. Every second call was oh, fuck yourself or whatever.
Probably all your old friends /
So finally I
haters.
snapped near the end of the show. I'm like, all right, listen, everybody, this is the address of the radio station. I said, I'm going to be outside the station in 5 minutes. If anybody's got a problem and anybody wants some, it's 1155 Green Avenue. I fucking said,
no shit.
I read the address 3 times, right?
Nobody
Next
showed
day,
up.
I get a call from the owner of the station. I'm like, oh shit, I think I've been fired after my first show. And he's like, hey, listen, I tuned into your show last night. He goes, I'll tell you right now, you're a natural. And he goes, wow. You sound like you've been doing it for 15 years already. He goes, number 2, don't ever give the address of a radio station out again. And he said,
that was the only problem.
He goes, another host did that once before and someone threw a brick through our window. All right.
Yeah.
And he goes, unless you want to pay for the brick that goes through our window. He goes, don't give the address again. I was like, no, okay, I won't. And then, boom, within, I don't know, it was crazy. Within like a month, he's like, hey, you know what? We got Wednesday night open. Next thing you know, I'm literally on like 5, 6, 7 nights. It was like, I was on all the time.
Amazing.
And Michael Landsberg, shout out to Landsberg, was my first sort of big break.
Landsberg, yeah.
Yeah, I was on a community radio station and the show was buzzing and stuff. And I got a call from Landsberg. Hey, kid, you want to come on OTR?
Wow.
And
I went on OTR and I fucking hit it out of the park. And I became a regular on Off the Record.
Wow.
Right? Over the years. And in fact, so much so, I know you done the show, like so much so, they had a policy you weren't allowed being on once every like 4 months type of thing. Like once you're on, you couldn't be on for like 120 days. Yeah, so when Landsberg went off the air, his last sort of thing, I was on 3 of the last 5 shows.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And I was on, cool. I set a record. I set a TSN record. I was on like 19 times in 40 days, I think.
Wow.
That's insane.
I was basically on OTR like every fucking second day.
Do you know why though?
OTR was super popular. It was like
what's funny?
Shit to watch.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
it was fake. They pulled it. I mean, it was
I can't even imagine why they did pull it because it was a great show. I was on it about 9 times. Okay. And that's a lot.
Yeah.
And so I was on it 9 times and I used to tell him all the time because he knows I like to fight. So he's like, when someone, even if I was on with Phil Esposito or I was on with like, Dana White, I like if someone says something that's incorrect, I'm going to call him out on it. I don't care if God himself was on the show. And so he was like, that's what Landsberg liked because he knows I was really quiet in the back room. He was the first human being to ever point out that I might have a problem with anxiety when I was younger. And I was like, what's that? And he goes, no, you have anxiety, Mark, because every time you were in the green room, you would just kind of sit in the corner by yourself and not talk to anybody. And then it was time to come on the show and to perform. That wasn't a problem. But then when it was over, I went back into the corner and sat there. And he was the first person to ever tell me about, I think you have anxiety. And I was like, what the hell is that? I had no clue at that time.
Social anxiety,
yeah, social anxiety. And I didn't know what that meant at the time. And then I kind of did research on it.
He does, so he would know, actually. Well, he's got a lot of depression. He's got all kinds of really bad depression. Yeah, so
him and I have talked about it. He's been on the podcast too. And when he was on, it was fantastic. And, but like, he's another Canadian, not just Canadian. It's shocking to me that it's something like that still not on the air because that's how good that show was.
It really was. And especially for a Canadian show, they don't have a lot where there's their own Canadian show with big time guests on daily and stuff. It was costly to produce.
Sure.
Right. So it cost them money. And in the bottom line, they would rather just pick up PTI and ESPN programming. Yeah. Nothing lasts forever. So he had a hell of a run, right? Nothing lasts forever, but it was just sort of, you're right. It was shocking. Like, it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Like, why? It's
That's
your
what
most
I
popular
said. Why?
show. And it wasn't like the ratings were bad. Like, the ratings were really good. People watched it. Liked it.
Yeah.
It was
wrestling was his big thing. He used to have wrestlers on who would get massive numbers.
He had everything. Yeah. He was so intuitive of getting the right people together.
It's mind blowing how much the world loves wrestling. Like, I went to a show. It's insane. I wish I could draw like the wrestlers draw, like for a fight. I was like, hey, can you put me on?
Yeah, people think, wrestling's not as popular anymore. It still
is.
No,
it's still big.
I just went to the women's, the WWE Evolution, and we were in New Jersey, and it was insanity at that show. I was like, I would give anything to have that kind of support for me for boxing because, and I'm not taking anything away from wrestlers. Like, they are athletes. They are unbelievable athletes. It's just, the shit's scripted, right? Like, it is what it is. It's a modern day men's,
but they're tough. It's great.
Yeah. Like, my goodness.
And I know
they're modern day. It's a modern day men's soap opera. Like, let's be honest. Like, the women have Young and the Restless, and the men have WWE or whatever it is now.
Yeah. I've spoken to a lot of mixed martial artists that have done it both.
It's insane.
And like, I was talking to Raven about that, who's one of the most like hardcore wrestlers ever, Raven. And he told me, he goes, Gabe, man, he goes, it's the little things in wrestling that you don't think about.
I agree.
He goes, because, people are like, oh, how do you take a bottle or a chair over the head? He goes,
easy.
He goes, what the problem is? He goes, you burn your back on the ropes. And he goes, it's the little things. You know what he goes, wrestling? He goes, the worst part of wrestling, he goes, people fucking step on your hand. Right? He's talking about his pinky got broken. He goes, I got a 300 fucking pound dude landed on my pinky. Fuck. He goes, you know how much that hurts? He goes, I don't care about the chairs. And Frank Trigg, another one who was a mixed martial artist and became a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
He told me, he goes, Gabe, I swear to God, pro wrestling is way harder than real fighting.
I would
say so. It's the repetition.
He goes, when you fight, he goes, it's 10 minutes. You get punched. It's over. No. You know what I mean? And it's done. It's done. He goes, pro wrestling, you're getting fucking slammed. You're into the ropes. You got people like stepping on your hand. He goes, you fall out of the ring onto the floor. Like, he was talking about the training of wrestling, like landing on
repetition.
Your back all the time. Yeah. Like, it's way harder than MMA. That's what he was telling me.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, and they're on a circuit like fighters fight, call it every 3 months, right? Like if you're coming up every 2 months, whatever.
They're twice a week. Do it daily. And if you don't, twice you're soft, then he'll fire you.
Yeah.
So they're on a circuit and they're producing shit every day. Like, you're right. So it's the repetition and the accumulation of all the shit.
They're tough as hell.
But I can see why they're number one. They would draw all the ratings because people love that shit. Like, it's amazing and it's hilarious because it's a men's soap opera.
I just find the characters, they're all the same now. That's the problem. There's no identity.
Unfortunately, yes. Yeah.
Like in the old days, you just sort of have like, hey, there's, they'd be characters, and it was stupid, but you bought into it for the funness of it.
You did.
Now everyone looks like CM Punk. Like, they're all like serious. Like, they take it like they pretend like it's a real fight. Like, oh, I don't want to watch a WWE. They're like, oh, he won by submission. It's like, fuck off, he won by submission.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Like, he's not really choked out. We all know it. So what?
Correct.
Don't pretend you're the UFC. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, they started doing that. They started doing that, right? They started kind of going into that UFC direction with fights, and I'm like,
and now they own them.
But you know,
and imagine raking it in, guys. The TKO.
Yeah.
The other day they had a UFC going on, and they had a fucking WWE event going on in England or whatever at the same time. And I'm thinking. That was their goal, to have multiple events around the world at once.
Crazy.
So you're just raking in the money.
It's crazy.
I'll tell you this though, no one beats their production. Not the UFC, not anybody.
No, WWE's always been a top tier with their
production
montages
is miles ahead of the UFC. Miles.
Yeah. No,
well, everything's done.
Yeah.
I mean, everything for every business is done in-house, but I'm talking like from the food to the outfits to the hair to the makeup, like
everything.
I was backstage and I was like, this is unbelievable. Like, I felt like I was in Hollywood on a movie set. Like,
it really is. It's part movie, part athletic, part soap opera, part this, part that, all in the one.
And there was all these jacked little athletes rolling around. And like, the girls were like 5'2", and I was like towering over them. And I was like, I'm pretty sure you could throw me across this room, but like, you're just like pint size, and I want to put you in my pocket. Like,
but they all look the same. That's my only downfall. I just like to see more personnel. Like, they're all blonde.
Yeah.
They're all the same tattoos in the same spot. The dudes, like, I like to see a little bit of like,
originality.
You're saying they all have tramp stamps? What?
Yeah, they all look the same.
All the men? No.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah. Well, Jelena, can you leave us with something today? A little, what you take away from this today?
I love your story, Gabe. And I'm sure we could talk for hours about a ton of different shit. But my takeaway from you is that, like, you're a hustler in the best way possible. And like, when people told you no, you found a way to figure stuff out. And so my takeaway from our conversation is like, I just never say no. And where there's a will, there's a way. And that's what I enjoy.
If you believe in something, try it, do it. Right.
And that you're a fan of everything you do. Like, you genuinely seem to enjoy absolutely everything that you work on. It's your job, but you seem to like be a big fan of what
I can't imagine. I feel bad. Like, I feel bad for people that have to do things that they hate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the one thing
I appreciate that. I mean, I love punching people in the face, but like, and I make a decent, thing at it, but like, I love that about you. And for me, that was my takeaway from learning about you. And I'd love to have you on again and chat longer. And,
always been a fan of yours, and great stuff. Always loved talking with Mark as well over the years.
Yeah.
Well, Gabe, can you leave us with something like that you've learned in your, long esteemed career that with the audience? You know what I mean? Like something that you could teach someone with the, thousands of people that'll watch this episode, literally something that you can teach someone or what you've learned along the way.
I think what I've learned is, it's kind of like what I started. I have a lot of people ask me, how do you get into doing what you're doing? Or I want to do this. Nothing's stopping you. Nothing's stopping you. I've had a lot of people, especially nowadays with the internet and podcast and Substack and this and that. There are so many different ways you can express yourself. Don't wait. And I guess that's the best the advice I give for everyone. Don't wait. The Lord helps those who help themselves. Don't wait.
Nice.
Nobody's going to call you with some great opportunity. You have to create your own opportunity in this world, no matter what form of business that you're in. I think that's the best advice I could give people.
Fantastic.
You've got to create your own opportunities.
I like that.
Fantastic.
I like that.
Well, thank you so much, Gabe, for being on today. We know the struggle is real. We tried to get you on, and we
pulled it off this time.
We did pull it off this time, and it's fantastic.
We're all red too. Let's go, Canada.
Yeah,
there we go.
Heaven forbid anybody learns anything from this episode from yourself and Jelena as well, talking about the Olympic athletes and how we should all get involved helping them moving forward. So
yeah, support your local Olympian.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Gabe, for being
guys.
on. We appreciate
it. Stuff. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Awesome. Gabe Morency, everybody on the Busted Lip podcast today. Fantastic. I like to call him, Canadian royalty. So peace out. Everybody, that's Gabe Morency on the Busted Lip podcast. What do you think, Jelena? Interesting, eh?
I think he's so phenomenally interesting. You could sit and literally talk to him for hours and on the research when I was talking to him and stuff, or when I was Googling him, and I was like, oh, I want to talk about this and this, and when you're in the chat and you get drawn into this conversation.
Sure.
And he's so charismatic and he makes you really, I
what I noticed
him.
when I met him back in the day, I was on many shows with him. I realized that he knew more than I did about sports. Not about maybe MMA or boxing, but just sports in general. He knew who was sick, who was not sick, who was playing tonight, who was not playing tonight. It was weird, how his mind worked for that kind of stuff. And now he talks about his gambling, with gambling with it. You got to know who's in or not in or whatever the case may be. And he did.
But I also think, and he touched on it just a little bit, he gets that from being a fan. He that's where he talked about where he's a fan of the sports, and that's how we got into his commentating and broadcasting and stuff like that. But you're right, it's from when he was 10 years old and he was placing bets. You got to know something to get an edge.
Crazy. And I
just want to make sure everybody, his story.
Me too. And now listen, everybody at home, you got to understand that Jelena was 1,000,000% correct. I thought Gabe was still in Toronto, and Jelena's like, Mark, he's in Vancouver, and I'm like, have I lost my mind? Because I sent him the link to be on the show, and I sent it, I guess, Toronto time at the first time, but he just figured, I don't know, maybe Mark screwed up or something. But Jelena's like, yeah, Mark, he lives in BC. And I'm like, no way he lives in BC.
I listen.
So
I listen.
My wife's right now clapping somewhere in the world going, listen, men don't listen. So Jelena was 1,000,000% right. And I figured if I at least admit on it on air and let everybody know that you were 1,000% correct, that at least you'll maybe say it less to me. So that's why I did.
I only say it one time. I told you so, but it's over. That was twice. So I'll let it go. We all make mistakes.
Yes, that's right. Listen, everybody, the beautiful Jelena Mrdjenovich, 8-time world boxing champion, and myself, Mark Pavelich, we want to thank Crystal Glass, your clear choice for all your glass needs. Tune in every Tuesday, everybody, on the Busted Lip podcast, 5 p.m. Mountain, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Every Tuesday, a new episode drops. Tune in, guys. We're taking over. Take care.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do.